So what I'm doing today, I'm working on this problem on the left. We have this square root challenge. They're all problems of this form. You've probably seen problems like this before, where you just need to simplify this with four integers in a row. We get 5 times 6 times 7 times 8 plus 1 square root of the whole thing. And then you're supposed to, I mean, obviously you could just put this in a calculator, but we want to do this without a calculator. And oftentimes the problems have bigger number. Well, you could probably always do it with a calculator, to be honest, but the challenge is to do it without a calculator. So let's look at this, and what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to write this on the board, but I'm going to substitute. We're gonna make a substitution right off the bat. So let's call y 5. And so when we write this out, we'll write it as y times y plus 1, y plus 2, y plus 3, plus 1. And then, so the whole key is to we want to multiply this out so that we get some kind of simplification. I think what I'm going to do, let's try multiplying this term times this term and this term times this term. And we'll just see what we get. So doing that, first we'll get y squared plus 3y for the first piece. And then this middle term here, we'll get y squared plus, boiling it out, we'll get y squared plus 3y plus 2. And finally we'll have 1. Okay, perfect. Then the thing to notice here is we have something in common. So it's important that we multiply it that way. I was kind of a guess. I mean, I haven't done this problem in a while, so I was not sure of the order, but you could try it different ways. And this is the way that works for this simplification, where we have these two terms which are common. And then what we can do is just make another substitution, like let's say call this u. And so let's rewrite this. And we'll say this is u times u plus 2 plus 1. Okay, so now it's kind of cleaning up a little bit. But then we'll just distribute this. So we get u squared plus 2u plus 1. And the good thing here is this is just a perfect square. So we can factor this thing out and write this like, and was fighting me for a second. Okay, so we end up with u plus 1 squared in the square root. But this in the square root squared is just going to be u plus 1. And now, okay, so now we have it pretty simple. But what we want to do is we want to back substitute. Earlier we said that u equals, remember u equals y squared plus 3y. Let's substitute that back in. We have y squared plus 3y plus 1. And then finally, we just have to remember our initial substitution. We want, in the problem, we want to get a numeric answer. They're not asking for y. I mean, they want to know x, but x is going to be a numeric answer. All we need to do is we need to remember our initial value for y. Let's see if I can give myself a little more space. So then substitute in for y. So we end up with 5 squared plus 3 times 5 plus 1. And that's just going to be 25 plus 15 plus 1 equals 41. And 41 is correct. That's our answer. So basically, I had this quiz, but really all the problems are going to be pretty much the same. It's going to be different numbers. You can have them separated by more than one. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, so they're only separated by one. But in other problems, you could have them be separated by 2, 3, 4. It's going to be the same idea, though you can make the same kind of substitutions and solve it that way. That would be probably, if you looked at some of the more difficult problems, at the difficulty level here. So if you looked at some of the harder problems, you'll see that they're and then also this number is not one, but it's going to be the same idea. So you can play with that and do these problems and use the same substitutions, I'll provide a link to the quiz in the description. Thanks.